Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be discussing Ohm's law and its limitations. I have already done the simulation analysis of Ohm's law with the help of Virtual Lab. The video link will be available in the I button as well as description box of this particular video. You can go through after watching this particular video. First of all, let's understand what is Ohm's law, what is application. Okay. Before explaining the Ohm's law, I would like to explain the scientists, those who behind Ohm's law. George Simon Ohm, who developed Ohm's law, he was a German physicist and a mathematician. Apart from that, he was an educator and he has done a lot of research on this particular rule. And finally, he has developed a relation between voltage and current. So definitely, we have to thankful to George Simon's Ohm. Because of the scientist, we can analyze different type of circuit with the help of Ohm's law. Okay, you will be getting more details in Wikipedia. You can go through the information about George Simon Ohm. What do you mean by Ohm's law? Let's understand the basics of Ohm's law. Actually, Ohm's law is an empirical relation between voltage and current. Let us understand the statement of Ohm's law. How we can able to define or state Ohm's law. State and explain Ohm's law. Moving on to the explanation of statement. The current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across the conductor, provided the temperature and other physical conditions such as pressure that remains constant. So do underline this statement separately. That means in a conductor, current flowing through the conductor that is directly proportional to voltage, or you can call potential difference, provided by constant temperature and pressure. So this is an important statement regarding Ohm's law. So you have to take care about the last sentence, provided at constant temperature and the important physical conditions. So that is very important. Let us explain the Ohm's law in mathematically. Let us consider a simple DC electric circuit. We are having the source, there is a battery, and we are having a resistor. This resistor will act as a load. Whenever we are going to apply a battery, definitely there will be a current flow. I is the current which is flowing through the particular circuit. AB, this is a two terminal. We are applying the potential across AB. So whenever we are applying Ohm's law, we can write mathematically the current flowing through the entire circuit I, that is directly proportional to V. Or else I can write the voltage is directly proportional to current. Both the way I can write it is a common thing. Or else, in order to remove the proportionality constant, what I am going to do? I'll be multiplying with a constant. I'll be multiplying with a constant. Okay, a constant into I. A constant into I. Let us remodify. The voltage is equal to this constant, we call it as R into I. The same thing I have written over the voltage is equal to R into I, where the R is represented as resistance. R is denoted as resistance, which is expressed in terms of ohms, or the symbol is called omega. R is known as resistance. Okay. And also V is the potential difference in volt. I is the current flowing through the conductor in ampere. Or else I can make different relation. How to compute resistance? Voltage upon I. So same thing I have written there. Okay, so this is the mathematical expression for Ohm's law. In conclusion, voltage is directly proportional to current, or you can write voltage equal to R into I, where R is known as resistance. Now, whenever we are conducting an experiment, if you plot the graph between voltage and the current, if you are plotting the graph between voltage and current with respect to the reading which are available from the laboratory, we'll be getting a straight curve or straight line. The shape of the curve is straight line. So remember, this circuit is applicable. This Ohm's law is applicable only for linear circuits. It fails whenever we are applying for the non-linear circuits. Here we can able to understand that voltage is directly proportional to current. Now I'll be taking a slope. Let us calculate the slope. You take two separate points. Let us construct a triangle. I'll be constructing a triangle. Okay. Now let us take the slope. What do you mean by slope? Slope is nothing but y-axis by x-axis. That means delta y by delta x. Delta y by delta x. That is called the slope. Y-axis by x-axis. What is available in y-axis? Y-axis will be delta v. X-axis you can able to write it as delta I. Basically, the slope is equal to delta V by delta I. That is nothing but resistance. R, that is nothing but resistance. So that is equal to slope. Resistance you will be getting the terms of slope in terms of slope. Whatever the resistance you are getting, that is equal to slope. Tan theta, slope, y-axis by x-axis, that is equal to resistance. This graph is also very important for you. Please do remember this. Okay, experimentally I have done it. You can watch the video which is available in the description box. Not only that, I'll be putting in the I button also. You can go to the click on the I button and get the videos. So we have computed the voltage V is equal to I into R. Okay, so what do you mean by resistance? You already studied about resistance. I have explained in the previous video. Okay, opposition for the movement of current. What are the factors which are affecting on the resistance? The resistance that is directly proportional to length of the material. The resistance is directly proportional to say length of the material or a conductor. And also resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. Resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. I can write like this. Similarly, it will be depending on the material, what nature of the material. That is also matters a lot. What type of material you made up of the conductor and the temperature. Some most of the materials are positive temperature of coefficient of resistance. As the temperature increases, resistance also getting increases. So that is called a positive temperature coefficient of material. By clubbing these two expressions, we can write R is directly proportional to L divided by A. Or else, in order to remove the proportionality constant, I am going to use a new constant that is equal to R is equal to rho into L by A, where rho is known as resistivity. Okay, rho is known as resistivity. I have mentioned here, or you can call specific resistance, where L is the length of conductor, A is the area of the conductor. So this is the general expression for the resistance. How do you compute the resistance in terms of length and area? You may require this expression for solving different numerical examples, especially competitive examinations. Okay. One more important triangle I would like to familiar to you. This is known as Ohm's triangle. So we have voltage, then current and resistance. Based on the triangle, you can able to make out different relations. And also the table depicts the quantity, symbol, unit measurement and unit abbreviation. Current symbol will be represented as I, unit is ampere, it is denoted by the letter A. Similarly, voltage, either E or V, it is the unit is volt, it is represented by capital letter V. Similarly, resistance, the symbol we can represent it as R, the unit of measurement ohm, the abbreviation will be omega, symbol of omega. Now I wanted to tell you how do you compute different equation based on the triangle. There is a triangle, you know this particular triangle. From the triangle, how do you get the different expression? Look at the triangle first. Look, this is a triangle, Ohm's triangle. See, now I need to compute the V. I wanted to compute V. What I have to do? So V is equal to I into R. V is nothing but I into R. See, V is equal to I into R. It is very clear. If I wanted to compute I is nothing but V by R. See, second expression is over. I is equal to V by R. If I wanted to compute R, I can able to write V by I. Remember this form. V by R, that is equal to I. V is equal to IR. R is equal to V by I. This is a simple shortcut. Okay, somebody may get confusion while applying the Ohm's law. Such cases can be mitigated by using this Ohm's triangle. And also by using the Ohm's pie chart, you can able to derive a number of equations. For example, I wanted to compute power. Power is nothing but voltage into current. Or else, how we can able to write instead of E, look at the equation. P is equal to E times I. E into I. What I am going to do is, instead of E, I am going to write it as VI. Okay. VI. VI can be written or otherwise, I'll be writing instead of V, sorry, instead of E or V, I'll be writing E is equal to V divided by E is equal to I into R. Remember the formula. E is equal to how much it is? I into R. I into R. That should be multiplied with I. So what is the final expression? I square R. I square R. So I am getting the expression I square R. Similarly, how do you get this expression? Very simple. You know, P is equal to E into I. Anyway, E I am not changing. E I will be writing as it is, E. Instead of I'll be writing V, E by R. E by R. What is the final result? E into E is nothing but E square. E square divided by R. So I'll be getting another expression. Likewise, you can able to compute different expression for current, then voltage, resistance. You can see different expression. So this pie chart can be remembered. This will help you out for solving different numerical example. Anyway, in the next session, we are going to work out some numerical example. Okay, this may help you. Remember this particular point. This is also known as Ohm's pie chart. What are the drawbacks of Ohm's law? What are the major limitations? So we cannot apply Ohm's law for non-metallic conductors such as silicon carbide. It is a non-linear relationship between voltage and current. It gives a non-linear relationship. So Ohm's law is going to fail such condition. Second condition, it is not suitable for non-linear devices such as Zener diode, voltage regulator, etc. Because current and voltage relationship is not linear. And Ohm's law is not at all applicable for insulators. It is 100% true. Similarly, Ohm's law is not applicable for unilateral circuit elements such as transistors, especially BJT, IGBT, etc. Definitely, Ohm's law we cannot apply directly. That's a problem. So these are the major limitations of Ohm's law. I hope you understood. So we can understand that Ohm's law cannot apply everywhere. So there are certain restrictions. And also pressure and temperature should be remains constant. Physical condition also should be constant. If any variations happen, the law will be violated. So that is another issue. So what are the applications? I think in a conventional domestic fan regulator, in olden days, it is basically resistive control. Whenever you are changing the resistance, what is going to happen? You know, V is equal to I into R, right? V is equal to I into R. So resistance that is depending on voltage and current. So parameter is going to vary with respect to change in resistance. We can say that the voltage is also getting varied because both are in a same proportional. V is directly proportional to R. Okay. So this was early, very early, earlier in the earlier days it has been developed, but nowadays it has been replaced with the electronic type choke. The main component of electronic type choke is thyristors, especially triarc, one of the device called triarc. Nowadays, this kind of resistive based regulator is not available. Rare cases it's available. That's why we could say this will follow Ohm's law. Next is DC ammeter and other measuring instrument. Surely the Ohm's law will be applicable. For example, for extension range, for if you want to extend the range of ammeter, you are going to add the shunt resistance. Suppose if you want to extend the range of voltmeter, you will be adding one series resistance. Anyway, current division, all those things will be following up. Okay, so Ohm's law will be applied over there. Similarly, voltage divider circuit. Voltage divider. You must have heard about rheostat, potentiometer. Okay, such devices definitely it is directly following Ohm's law. So these are the major applications of Ohm's law. There are many more, but a few applications I have highlighted here. You can refer the textbook. You'll be getting more information. Now let us work out one simple example. You need to calculate the value of current. So you know that voltage or you can call E is equal to I into R. Correct, no? E is equal to I into R. So there is a lamp, then there is a battery. I need to compute the total current flowing through the circuit that I wanted to compute. So I is equal to E by R. E by R. I is equal to E by R. So what is the battery source? 12 volt. 12 volt divided by how much resistance offered by the lamp? 3 ohm. So 12 divided by 3, 4 ampere. 4 ampere will be the answer. I think it is very simple problem. It's a simple problem, but do understand the concept. Okay. Likewise, you may get different numerical example, even lower level to higher level. This is the lowest level. The answer is 4 ampere. On the opposite side, the battery supply that is 36 volt, the current flowing through the circuit is given as 4 amps. You are asked to compute the value of resistance. R is equal to V by I. Correct, no? R is equal to V by I or E by I. So what is the value of battery source? 36. 36 divided by 4. So what is the value? 9. Okay, 9. Okay. can check it up. See, R is equal to V by A, that is equal to 36 by 4, that is equal to 9 ohm. So in this session, I have discussed about the statement of Ohm's law, and I have introduced the biobibliography of scientists, those who developed Ohm's law, later mathematical expression for Ohm's law, Ohm's triangle, and there is one other pie chart to get different equations. Finally, limitations I have discussed. At the end, I have discussed about the application and solved two numerical examples. If you are having any queries, please to put up in the comment box. Finally, thank you so much for watching this video.